Hi folks, and welcome back to Broadside Game with me, Zugs. So Beyond the Hive is out. We've done a load of testing, and I've come up with a few tweaks to the main Arbites build that we're using. So let's jump in and see what we've got. So we're still using the same sort of setup. We're using the shock maul, and we're using the exterminator shotgun. And yeah, we are the right build. Sorry, they all look the bloody same these days. So what have we changed? Well, the Arbites shock maul, we have changed out one of the blessings to high voltage, and we've changed that from hammer blow. And hammer blow is very, very good, and it still works really well on this build, but it's starting to feel slightly overkill. We're going slightly too far into impact, and we're missing out on some damage. So we're able to drop that slightly for high voltage to get more damage, but have slightly less impact. Now, in the Beyond the Wastes, whatever the hell it's called, it's Chaos Waste. I'm just going to refer to it as Chaos Waste because that's all I can remember. The AI director spawns stupid amounts of everything continuously, and you will find it's mostly crushers and maulers and bulwarks and things. And just being able to have that much impact, you can pretty much take out anything you need to. This is an all-comers build. The exterminator shotgun feels nerfed, but I can't find any patch notes that actually say they have nerfed it since the initial rug pull for the Arbites. So it does feel a little bit weaker than it was, but it is still pretty good. So the Arbites shock maul, what are we using on it? It's the same as before. Damage, finesse, crowd control, and penetration. Lol. Perk-wise is flak and carapace. Same as the old one. The only change is high voltage from hammer blow. So this is going to give us just more flat damage. As for the shotgun, we're going with damage, ammo, stopping power, and stability, and mobility is our dump because it's terrible. Perk-wise, we're going with flak and maniac. This is going to help us snipe out the insane amount of specials that are out in there in the Chaos Wastes, because there are thousands of them continuously all the time, and they don't just turn up at one at a time. There'll be 4 or 5 just there. So this is just going to allow us to kill them a little bit more reliably. You can still snipe out or counter snipe snipers, just not as reliably as you could maybe 2 patches ago. This doesn't really work the same as the kickback anymore, because the kickback, being an Ogren shotgun, it does have unlimited range and damn near no fall off, whereas this used to work like that, not so much anymore, but it does still work. Blessings wise, we're going with Death Spitter and Sustained Fire. This is going to make it a little bit more reliable when we are trying to take down those specials that are coming in. That is changed from, I don't have it anymore. It's changed from the old setup, which I don't remember what it is anymore. Curio wise, we're going with 3 toughness. I've stuck stamina regen on one of them just because it's quite useful. You don't have to if you really don't want to. It is just nice having that little bit extra stamina regen to help our stamina to start regenning quicker than it would without it. Otherwise, I've gone with combat ability regeneration. If you want, you can change this to just plus health if you want flat defense, but combat ability regeneration works amazingly with this build because it's already on quite a short cooldown, but with this, it's 8% shorter. Talent-wise, it's pretty much the same at the top. We're going with Hammer of Judgment, melee attack speed for 3 seconds on hitting 3 or more enemies of a melee attack. Into Force of Will, replenishing toughness on staggering melee attack, which is all of them because we have so much impact. Close Up, replenish toughness on close kill. This is both ranged and melee. Walk It Off, spending 1 stamina, replenishes 10% toughness over 3 seconds. Also why I have stamina regen on the Curios. Going down into the Voltic Shock Mine. Now, this Blitz ability is arguably the best for the Chaos Waste, because there are so many situations where you will be standing and defending a point, including doors, servo skulls, all that rubbish. Having these It doesn't do much damage, but it does lock down an entire corridor of attack and basically stop you getting overwhelmed for a few seconds, and allows you to do things like revive teammates or grab something and run. So that is why we're sticking with the Voltic Shock Mine. I mean, we did in the old build as well. This is the old build, basically exactly the same up the top here in the tree. Now, down into Arbitrator Armor for toughness, into Concussive, melee weak spot hits, make the enemy counters staggered. Now we're layering even more stagger into the build still. Suppression Protocols, hitting through and more enemies with an attack grants you 20% toughness damage reduction for 5 seconds. This is going to give us active defense. Breaking Descent, you and your allies in coherency deal an additional 10% damage versus staggered. Again, this is everything you do staggers them, even the shotgun. Plasteel plates with toughness, and we are taking Lone Wolf. Now, when the Arbites came out, I was very against Lone Wolf. And there is an argument to be made that the dog is amazing in the Chaos Wastes for helping with the sheer amount of specials, and it is absolutely great for doing that. But what we're also getting is a free recharge of our blitz abilities, which, if you've played the Chaos Waste at all, you will know you cannot recharge your ammo or your grenades until you go into one of the resupply zones. So, being able to completely ignore that mechanic and to be able to defend points and basically lock down avenues of attack is a game changer, basically. Now, that's not to say that the dog is useless. I just think the recharge of your blitz ability is slightly more useful. But obviously, you can pick whatever you want. It doesn't break the build. It just means you're not going to have as many shock mines. You're going to do slightly less damage and take slightly more damage. And also have one less blitz ability, because this gives you +1. But it does give you access to your dog again, and the dog is very, very useful, especially if you're trying to take out a special that you cannot reach. Remember to double tag, and then it will go and deal with it for you. Now, the dog will kill anything that it jumps. Just remember, you lose the ability to do anything with it while it's doing that. I mean, you can tell it to go do something else, but obviously it won't kill what you told it to jump. So during the absolute chaos of the melee, having the dog is useful. I just think at the moment it is slightly more useful having rechargeable blitz abilities. Anyway, that's the difference. Impact boost here, more lovely, lovely impact, and then we're going in to break the line. Now, once again, they have nerfed Cascader Stance. They've taken it down from 80% reduced damage taken to 70%. And this looks like it's going to be carrying on. I reckon they're going to drop this down to about 60 at some point, because this did used to be the most amazing ability that the Arbites got, and now it's kind of eh. So instead of just flat defense, we are taking an ability to control the battlefield. What do I mean by that is, you can basically knock everything down on a very, very short cooldown. This includes entire packs of crushers, maulers, or whatever. Do remember, though, if you use this on a pack of just normal mobs, let's just go with these because it's a thicker group, you won't stop your charge on hitting something. You'll just stop at the end of the run. Whereas if you go against specials, you stop as you hit the special. Against normal mobs, you will just stop when you finish your charge. Anyway. Okay, the buttons are just going to decide not to work. That's fine. So we're going break the line. Step forward, bash, causing high stagger to enemies in front of you. Gain 25% damage and 50% impact for 6 seconds. During the bash, you count as blocking. Commendation from Condemnation. Replenish 20% toughness and 15% stamina for each elite specialist or monstrosity hit, up to 100% toughness and 75% stamina. And last but not least, Targeted Brutality. Restore 0.5 seconds ability cooldown for each hit. Increase to 1 on elite special or monstrosity hit. 5 max cooldown restored. Now, we don't have enough points here to be able to grab engage. It's a minor buff, but also without it, you can tell it's a lot shorter. But I mean, this isn't a game changer. This is just a quality of life. So we don't have enough points for it, so we're not taking it. Then we're going into Arbites Revellatum, 15% damage for 5 seconds after successful dodge, into Zealous Dedication, 2% critical strike chance on kill, 8 stacks, lasts 10 seconds. Soul Guilt Scan, weak spot hits grant 2% weak spot strength, 8 stacks, lasts 10 seconds. And now into the middle. Justified Measures, 2% damage on successful attack, 5 max stacks lasting 5 seconds. Street Smarts, gain 1 effective dodges and 25% dodge duration. Into Monstrosity Hunter for 20% damage against Ogrins and Monstrosities. And now our Keystone Tree. We're going into Hold the Line. Staggering an enemy grants 1 stack of plus 3% damage resistance on the next melee hit taken, stacking 5 times and lasts 8 seconds. Stacking non-human sized enemies grants 5 stacks, so that's Monstrosities and Ogrins. Target the weak. Enemies staggered by your melee attacks take 15% more melee damage. Into the Emperor's Fist, 15% melee damage and 30% impact on first enemy hit with each attack. And then drive them back. Pushing grants 75% cleave. Now, this is one a lot of people forget to do. Drive them back is an amazing ability. You just have to remember to use it. Because the Maul is ridiculously powerful. It gives 0 shits about armor, and you can literally beat down anything that's in front of you. So you don't have to worry about what armor type's in front of you. Unarmored, black, carapace, whatever. It doesn't care. But make sure you add a push in every now and again to make sure you're getting that crazy amount of cleave, as that is going to increase your damage output massively. And also help in those crazy melees inside the Chaos Waste, because you're just overwhelmed all the time. Especially if you're playing on Damnation and Uruk, it gets very, very silly. That was that. And now for Forceful, our Keystone. Staggering hits and blocked attacks grant stacks of Forceful lasting 5 seconds and stacking 10 times. Each stack gives plus 5% impact and 2.5% damage resistance, removing all stacks on damage taken. Then into Target Acquired, while at max stacks and for 3 seconds afterwards, gain 10% attack speed and 50% cleave. That's stacking up quite nicely there. Will of the Lex, replenish 0.5 toughness each second per stack. And last but not least, the Arbites Vigilant. On combat ability, gain 2.5% strength for each stack, lasts 12 seconds, and removes all stacks afterwards. So, there you go. It is the updated version. And if you are taking this into Havoc, you can always, I don't know, remove a point from here or there if you really want to take a rebreather. This is just going to help with the stupid amount of pox gas and toxins, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's entirely necessary. So, the slight changes we've gone from on the old build, as you can see here, it's all about the bottom of the tree. Old build, we're no longer taking True Grit. We've changed over from Percussion Blows into Soul Guilt Scan, as the shotgun is slightly crappier than it used to be, so we don't really want to take that. And we've removed a point from Engage down into Will of the Legs and Arbites Vigilant. So, not wildly changing things, but it does make a difference. So there you go, folks. Updated version of the old Break the Line build that we used for a very long time. As you can see, it's just slowly evolved. Because it's quite a fun build to use. Very fast paced, and it basically means not much is going to mess you about in the Chaos Waste. The only thing that's really going to mess you up is getting dogged and flamethrowed. That's just something you can't really deal with, especially if you didn't see the dog coming. And before anyone goes, oh, what's your Cyber Mastiff? Yeah, on the dog missions, there's about 1 million of them all the time. Your poor old Cyber Mastiff can only deal one at a time, sadly. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed the build. If you do, please do like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And I shall see you all for the next one. Until then, take it easy. See you later.